Welcome back to my channel, Ancient Ones. On today's clip, Royal Family, we will be discussing how the West continues to care more about its comfort, its ability to be first world nations and all those things and all the comfort zones that come with it, not stopping Israel from committing war crimes. But then they want to bomb already struggling countries, attacks that are apparently unconstitutional in their right, as is not real faces charges of committing genocide, and those who aid and abet them of being supporters, whether it be financially or materially with weapons, you name it. The West, as in the United States and the UK, are on the chopping block. They have been put on notice that they too will be under review. They'll be getting lawsuits, they'll be getting charges filed against them. They'll be finding themselves facing similar legal challenges at the ICJ for supporting Israel. On the other side is Palestine and those who support Palestine. Houthi fighters in the Red Sea have stated many times that they are doing what they are doing in solidarity with the people of Palestine. Yes, that as long as the West continues to bombard Gaza through Israel, they will shut down the Red Sea. Because sometimes you have to hurt them in the pockets if their support of genocide is no longer lucrative. And so they have shut down the Red Sea, which has affected trade with the West. Things have gone expensive overnight, and they care more about the cost of their comfort zones than they do calling for a ceasefire. They will sooner reject a ceasefire and embrace selling weapons to is not real than admit that they are partly responsible for their crimes that are going on over there. And they will rather clamp down on anyone, Royal Family, who seeks to support Palestine and who seeks to be called for is not real to be held accountable. But of course, South Africa is coming through with the heat. We're dragging them across the ICJ. Anyone who aids and abets is not real will too be finding themselves facing criminal charges. This journalist is going viral all over TikTok. And basically what she had to say was just pure gold. Just pure gold, Royal Family. And therefore, I sought the original clip, was tough to find. I found it on TikTok, which is fine, but on YouTube was another story. But I found it elsewhere. Muslim Central. Myriam François comments on the Red Sea shutdown and leaving the panel stumped. Check this clip out and tell me what you think.
François, I mean, there are many who... Dr. François, there are many who are saying that, frankly, the Biden administration should have acted sooner and faster, that hundreds of billions of dollars has been put at risk because the Houthis have held this area in the Red Sea at ransom.
Sorry, so just let me get this straight, Yelda. So we are bombing the poorest, one of the poorest countries in the world that has been under a humanitarian blockade. There has been famine. These people have been decimated, and we are bombing them because a couple of guys in dinghies in support for the Palestinians who are having a genocide committed against them. They're objecting to that, and we're bombing them. Come on now. I mean, this is just an insane world for us to even think. I'm so sorry your Amazon packages are delayed. I really am. Like, I wish mine came on time. But, you know, genocide, guys, genocide. There are 2 mothers a day dying in Gaza right now. It's 109 days into a conflict in which a humanitarian crisis has been declared to the world day in, day out.
By the way, Dr. François, there are many who are Yemen watchers who monitor and follow the Houthis who say this is doing wonders for their branding, actually, that it isn't just the Palestinian cause that they're focused on.
So call a ceasefire now and end the positive branding. If you want to stop the Houthis doing what they're doing, then call a ceasefire right now.
Do you genuinely believe that the Houthis would stop doing what they're doing?
They have literally said that that's why they're doing what they're doing. They have not previously blocked those routes for any other reason except this one. So yes, I do. And I also think the West needs to start to understand that you cannot just go around playing cowboys in the world. There are consequences to your actions. You cannot just go around bombing people's countries, ignoring international law and expect no repercussions. For every cause, there is a consequence. And just because you don't like a couple of guys trying to resist,
I mean, these
the fact
are
that this is
now prescribed terrorists.
They will call you whatever they see fit because they control the media, right? That's the world we live in, fam. They refuse to self-reflect on how they relate to the world, the things that they do. They want to continue to create this idea and this narrative that they are the ones who are on the receiving end of unjust activities, that they are the victims of whatever. These people routinely destabilize people's governments, family. They send assassins, they send economic hitmen, they drop bombs all willy-nilly, unconstitutional apparently. The US conducting this strike in Yemen is unconstitutional. It is going on as is not real, is being held accountable at the ICJ for war crimes. And therefore, if the West continues to support is not real as they commit these atrocities during this investigation of war crimes, they're actively engaged in criminal activity and support of war crimes and the commission of these war crimes. And so when people who resist Western imperialism decide to rise up and do something, then the West will use their media propaganda machines to brand them whatever words they see fit to try and dehumanize them in the world's eyes. Because we're supposed to keep quiet and allow the West to do as it sees fit. But the world has changed, family. We're living in a new era. The West ain't what it used to be. Its military power ain't what it used to be. The fact that mineral-rich countries are conscious of the fact that they are the ones who are the source of the minerals required to create some of these technologies that you find in the military industrial complex, without which there is no Western military might. And so how can you go around bombing countries that you rely upon, expecting that those people will not hold you accountable for what you've done? That we're not out here collecting receipts. So I'm going to keep shaking hands with US delegates, signing trade deals and relations, knowing full damn well that they have done nothing good for the world. I, as South Africa, have been on the receiving end of the US false attempts to sabotage our economy when they spread that lie saying that we sold weapons to Russia with no evidence. With no evidence, they sought to sabotage our economy. And they care more about their trade relations and sustaining their first world lifestyles and their comfort zones, receiving their Amazon packages and all those things all on time, than they do calling for a ceasefire. They have vetoed a ceasefire multiple times at the UN. Every time the world has tried to do something to stop this commission of war crimes and is not real, US has vetoed it, right along with the UK by proxy. And these are the same people who are complaining that someone somewhere is choosing to stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine and Gaza and do something to stop the crimes. So I too, as South Africa, expect, and I've been seeing some of those negative media coverage. Already they're trying to paint us in a bad light in all sorts of ways. But it is what it is. You don't get to go toe to toe with the devil and not get burned. So yeah. So name us whatever name you see fit. But we're still going to do what we're going to do to emancipate ourselves from imperialism and neo-colonial exploitation.
Sure, according to Western governments,
well,
they are
also
terrorist
according to the Yemeni people, because they've
which is a Saudi-backed government, which is essentially our.
But the Yemenis who live, under Houthi rule, talk about the fact that this group continues to terrorize them as well.
Yeah, I'm no fan of the Houthis, apart from when they're blockading in favor of a ceasefire, which should have been called a long time ago. 55,000 people are dead in Gaza right now. There are over 60,000 people injured with no access to food, water, aid. How dare we have a conversation about trade when there are children right now being treated without anesthetic?
Well,
there are things that require us to make some sacrifices, and this would be one of them.
They do have the global economy, global markets hostage.
Good for them.
Imagine caring more about your economy and your ability to receive your goods and products on time than you do about doing the right thing. They care more about their comfort zones than stopping the nightmare in Gaza. And all of this is happening in real time, family, for all the world to see. Keep that in mind.
Bill Browder.
Good for them. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now.
We're going to have to leave it there. But Dr. Myriam François,
you cannot allow these people to be decimated and expect there to be no consequences.
I think that is a separate conversation. But we do.
It's a separate conversation.
About 20,
no, it isn't.
Seconds left. Dr. Myriam François, Bill Browder, thank you both for joining us here.
Thank you, Yada.
Myriam François.
I mean,
Royal family, that's the paradox of the West, I say. And that's why we cover their paradoxes plenty on this channel. Everything that they do and say, we cover that so that we can know. They don't tell the truth for the truth's sake. They tell the truth in order to spin their own narrative and create their own illusions that they can marinate in. They love marinating their own illusions. And that's the world we live in. Crazy, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the video in the comments below. Royal family, it's a crazy world we live in. I'm your host Ramudi, say the High King. Stay royal, stay blessed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.